Welcome to Unveiling Beauty, the video podcast that focuses on your beauty and self-care. I'm your host, Nick Stenson, and I love all things beauty and all things that help us make and feel more beautiful. Today, we have two special guests. First, I have Armando Ramos, who is the manager of education for YSL, and Beck Morgan, the national face designer for Armani. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you both here. You know, fragrance is a topic we don't talk enough about on Unveiling Beauty. So I'm so excited that we have you both here to talk about two iconic brands and some potential newness that's happening in the fragrance world.
Yes. So excited to reveal that to you. And unveiling.
Yes, I'm unveiling. I have to say, you invited the right people because we're both fragrance freaks. Like a lot of people at home, we love to wear fragrance, talk about it. It's our favorite thing. So we're really excited too.
Okay, good. All right, so let's start with a fan favorite, a classic, Aqua Dijo. I mean, this is one that has been a bestseller for over 20 years. Talk to me about this fragrance.
Well, it really changed the game because when people say they want something fresh and clean, which is a big thing, especially for men when they're shopping, don't you agree, Armando?
Oh my God, 100%.
They're going into Ulta and they're saying, I want something fresh and clean. Especially in the US, we love that. So Aqua Dijo came out with marine notes. And those marine notes are, when we smell that, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel fresh, it's clean, it's like the ocean. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's been so loved by people for so long.
It's so funny. I have known people that wore it years ago and then switched off and has gone back to it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you know, that you keep coming back to because you love it. It's just such a classic.
It's honestly, it's a compliment getter. Like you wear that, you're going to get compliments, and it's a very easy scent to wear. I think people just want something that they can throw on and run, and they're going to go to, you know, on a Target run. They can put that on and wear it and feel fresh.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. All right, YSL, we have a new baby, right?
We do.
All right, it's called Myself.
It is called Myself.
Talk to me about it.
It is very much inspired by everything Saint Laurent. Like when you talk about like our brand codes, like who are we? I mean, I think you can describe it as something that people are definitely, it's what they expect from Yves Saint Laurent when it comes to being edgy, of course, couture, and always luxury. So it's exciting that we're here today to talk about it.
Okay, I haven't smelled it yet.
I haven't smelled it either.
I literally was going to grab it when we were getting ready to start, and I thought, no, I want to wait. I want to hear the description about it. I want to feel something before I actually smell it.
Absolutely. Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
all right.
sure.
Do you have it on here?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Pass these around.
That's nice.
Okay.
So what do you get immediately from it? I mean, just like right off the bat. I know the bottle's gorgeous. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes, of course, which I would expect nothing less. Woodsy?
Absolutely. I mean, at first, definitely you get that clean, kind of fresh. That's a bergamot accord there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the immediate. But I love how you went to the actual.
I think it's because that's what I gravitate towards. A little bit more earthy. It's definitely clean, but it has an earthiness. There's some depth to it.
Yeah, and that's what really makes it so unique is playing with those two codes. Again, like the noble ingredients, you have that fresh, but then you have that musky, like that wood note. It's like it brings so much like texture and depth, and it's what we're known to do. So when you smell it, try it one more time. Mm-hmm. Any notes specific besides the...
Now that you said bergamot, of course I smell the bergamot.
Okay.
Which is another beautiful, beautiful scent. It's so interesting. What do you smell back when you smell it?
To me, it has like some sort of citrus note in it. That's what it's giving me, and I like that a lot.
So it's the orange blossom.
Okay.
That I really wanted to kind of point out because orange blossom typically is used in more feminine fragrances.
Right.
So it's this kind of, you know, Yves Saint Laurent always questioned, you know, the gender norms.
Right.
You know, so with Myself, it's really using both feminine and masculine fragrances. And it's that tension between them both that make it so unique. And it's really a part of our brand DNA. Of course, you guys probably know Yves Saint Laurent created the first tuxedo suit for a woman. So yeah, it's gorgeous.
I think a woman in a tuxedo, by the way, for the record, is stunning.
That's hot.
I love the look. I love it so much. I think it's just gorgeous. You know, it's interesting. I feel like listening to you and smelling it, it's both beautiful and sophisticated at the same time.
Absolutely. Always. It's like we like to say at Yves Saint Laurent, it's like uber chic. You know, so I mean, the bottle I think also really represents the brand the brand codes. If you think of what's happening right now on the runways, specifically Saint Laurent, but we're just seeing more like tailoring, menswear. So the bottle is a direct silhouette of what we're seeing. So, you have those strong shoulders, but then like the narrow trouser. So
Does that mean we're going to see some shoulder pads soon?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
these
right,
are
here
big
we
enough.
are.
I don't know what is.
I don't have a shoulder pad in right now.
The 90s are back.
Yeah, they are.
They are. I love it. Beautiful, very chic. That's a great way to put it. I mean, Saint Laurent, very gorgeous, chic brand altogether. Let's switch gears for a second. Let's talk about Mr. Giorgio Armani.
Oh, yes. I think you're a fan too.
I'm a big fan. I mean, we talked about this before the show. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan in classic elegance, timeless. I think both brands do that very, very well. Talk to me about, Armani and the philosophy really around fragrance. I know a lot about the clothing, but tell me more about the fragrance philosophy.
Well, I think some people at home, if you're watching, you may look at a lot of the Armani, may not know that Armani fashion is very specific. Like the jacket you're wearing right now is Armani, and you can see that it really hugs your body and shows off your physique nicely. And I think that it really shows off you. And that's how we think about fragrance too, is you wear the fragrance doesn't wear you. So it really does become part of your character. And that's how we think about fragrance. And, Aqua Dijo has become part of the culture, and it's something that we all love, and we have a brand new one that I am so excited to share with you. It's our new parfum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the one that everybody loves at home, Aqua Dijo Eau de Toilette, is the one that it's in that beautiful gray frosted bottle. But our new parfum, which we have for you today to smell, if you'll pass one over there, Armando, if you'd like to smell as well, that you get the note of that.
Very summer.
Does that say summer to you?
It says summer to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What about it says summer to you?
It's crisp.
Yes.
Yeah. It still has the classic notes, but...
So you can get the marine notes still, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
This is nice.
It really just took me on like a trip to
Did it?
Italy. It really did. I'm just like,
who doesn't want to do that?
Come on.
Very chic Italian. This is a fragrance I think is you're gonna hug when you put this on someone, or when you wear this. Think about you give your partner a hug before you go to work for the day, and you smell them. I love that moment because they're like you're breathing them in, and you get that embrace. And then at the end of the day, you want that same effect. This is a fragrance that we'll wear all day long.
It's funny. I totally could visualize what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah, I totally can.
It's sort of like you give each other that love before you leave for the day. This is a fragrance that you put on. It's a deeper, more intense version of the original Aqua Dijo. It has two notes that are in there that are going to make it wear for you all day long. So it has patchouli.
Yeah.
And inside that patchouli, it gives you that depth, and it's really, really long lasting. And it actually has Texan cedar in there as well.
Okay.
Yes, we're actually filming in Texas right now.
There you go.
So shout out to Texas.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a scent that you're going to be able to wear and have it last all day long. And it's a little bit more sophisticated and elegant. Like for the outfit you're wearing today, this would be the one that I would suggest for sure.
All right. I like it.
You can tell that Beck is like a fragrance expert. Yes.
I love it.
And I love the storytelling aspect.
Storytelling,
of it.
I think that, listen, fragrance is about emotion, right? It's about how it makes you feel. So I think telling the story is so important behind the brand, behind where it was kind of birthed from, who it's for, when it makes sense. But let me ask this question to both of you.
Yeah.
People come into Ulta Beauty all the time, and you see our fragrance section is huge. We have many different options. Sometimes it becomes intimidating to
overwhelming,
the consumer, right? It's overwhelming because there's so many choices. Where do you begin? Where does somebody, a man, a woman, anyone coming into our store that says, I want a new fragrance, but I don't even know where to begin, and they start just picking up bottles? Is that the way to do it?
That's definitely one way. I mean, I know that's what we teach.
Well, I think it's your vibe though too. I think we're all visual creatures, and if there is a brand that you connect with their visuals and you see like that is the vibe that they're putting out, and then you can imagine yourself in that world, start there. You can also at Ulta, I know they shout out the best sellers too that you can start with. Right. I think there's a reason that they're best sellers, so you can always look at those ones. I also think that Eau de Toilettes are a great place to start if you've never worn fragrance before. Now, if you have worn fragrance before, you should lean lean more towards a parfum or something that's a little bit more long lasting.
Explain the difference, because I don't think a lot of people understand the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think, if you don't mind if I take this one, I
absolutely.
think eau de toilettes are going to have certain notes. So it's not that they have less fragrance notes in them or less concentration. It's that specific notes are going to last longer through the day than other ones. So for instance, in our original, we have the marine notes. It's very crisp and fresh. It also has bergamot, which we love. But the new one is going to have more patchouli. So that's going to be in a parfum. Anything that says eau de parfum or parfum is going to have just more intense notes that will give you a longer lasting effect. Okay. Now, for some people, that may be good and they may want that for the evening. For someone like me, if I'm, dressed professionally, I want to have something that smells professional too and is going to be a little bit more sophisticated. I don't want to wear an eau de toilette to the office. I might want to wear the eau de toilette to the gym. That would be a good example.
So you're switching up your fragrance depending on where you're going.
I think it makes sense. Just like you don't wear the same shoes every day. You don't want to wear the same fragrance every day.
Well said. Well said. I love that. No. I was like, awesome. Schooling them. I mean, in terms of, specifically with myself, it is an eau de parfum as well. And when you first experienced it, you were like, I get that wood, that texture of the wood, the spice, the amber. So, I mean, right there kind of tells you just how you eloquently describe the differences. The parfum, it is a parfum. So you are going to get the stronger, rich kind of depth and that warmth that you're attracted to.
I like it.
That's what's so great about this new fragrance, but it has a little bit of both, which we talked about.
Which is nice.
Now, Nick, I want to ask you a question. What do you prefer to wear? When you're wearing fragrance, do you lean one towards the other? Is that something you think about?
I honestly don't think about it.
Really?
I'm a little bit of a unicorn in the way I do fragrance.
Oh, go on, tell
us. I do like 2 or 3 different things to get the fragrance that I want. And it started from years ago. I was wearing a fragrance that no one was wearing. And then every time I would stop somewhere, whether I get out of a car or whatever it was, people were like, oh my gosh, what is that? It smells amazing. Fast forward, it became more mainstream and more popular. And people would be like, oh, I know what that is. Now I'm like, okay, I don't want anybody to know what I'm wearing. So I cocktail a few different brands together to create my own kind of scent. That's just what I do.
Is there strategy to layering? Do you wear one, like a more intense one as a base and then lighter? Or do you have a strategy that way as well?
I do. And I also do like a body oil as well.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Layering.
So I'll start with an oil and then I'll layer the fragrance.
Shower gel, all of it. All of it.
Yes. I'm a good consumer.
Buy all of the ancillaries.
I believe in layering, whether it's the skin, the hair, the body. Just layer. It always gets better.
Amazing.
With you.
Let's talk about some hacks. So that's a hack. I just gave you my hack. What hacks do you have for a consumer out there that's trying to figure out the right fragrance for themselves?
I think, definitely you have to understand the customer's lifestyle for sure, because I feel like personally I wear fragrance different for whatever occasion or like you said, like whatever vibe I'm feeling that day. If I know I'm going to be stuck at home, then maybe I will wear a fragrance that's going to kind of take me on a journey or away from, the city, the hustle and bustle of the city for just a moment. And I think that's what's so magical about fragrance. It does have that ability to like take you on those like magical journeys. But as far as keeping the fragrance on hack-wise, I don't know, Beck, like what are some of our like...
I have a couple that I want to share. Okay, so the first one, if you're wearing a jacket, you should spray your fragrance inside your jacket because the heat of your body will emanate that fragrance and will give you that, it will give you that aura of fragrance versus just putting it on. I see a lot of people just applying it to maybe the outside of their jacket or they put it on their wrists and on their neck. So if you could put it on the inside of your jacket, that's a really great hack. So of course you want to do your pulse points. For all the ladies out there watching, I think putting fragrance in your hair is a really great idea because
I agree.
We love to hug when you're hugging people and they get that whiff of your signature scent. That's really cool too.
I'm kind of guilty of like the whole pulse point, close inside the jacket, and then like a little, and then I walk through it, and then I'm ready to go.
Full aura.
So sometimes my fragrance walks in before I do, but hey.
That's funny. I'll tell you, one of the things that I do, you say about the ladies spraying it in their hair, I always put it behind my ear. So when I do hug somebody, you'll get a little bit of a smell.
That's smart.
There's a little hack.
I've taken that one today for sure.
Take that one. But the whole inside the jacket, that makes a lot of sense. I've never done that. But when you think about it, yeah, it probably does warm up and it does.
It works.
Yeah, I like it. All right. So for a fragrance newbie out there, somebody who is just discovering fragrance and trying to figure out where to begin, one of the things that I think is really interesting about the new YSL, it's refillable, right?
Absolutely refillable.
Talk to me about that.
We call it ASAP, as sustainable as possible. I mean, we all know that it's a top priority, and our new, all of our consumers, especially the newer, younger consumer, it's definitely something that is top of mind for them, and it's important for us to have that environmental commitment at Yves Saint Laurent. I mean, not only do we offer in refillable now, but we, some of the noble ingredients in the fragrance are actually created in our own Yves Saint Laurent gardens. It's a community garden outside of Morocco, and it's an opportunity for us to really make sure that we're not wasting any ingredients. We're not using too much water, and the community there in the gardens is really special to the story for us. Sure. Because it's we provide childcare and education for a group of about 30 women who harvest all of these incredible ingredients. And it's beyond fragrance, it's in beauty. So it's always something that I always get like the chills.
I want to go there.
I know. I was thinking that.
I've visited a few times and actually saw it in person, smelled the orange blossom and the lavender, and it was unreal. So that's a special story when we have the opportunity to go a little bit further with just our commitments.
Sure. That's beautiful. That's also how you get people involved in the brand, more than just wearing the product, right? It's about being part of the community, part of the culture, and understanding the brand ethos, which I think is so important.
So important.
All right, Beck, talk to me about somebody who's breaking into fragrance, who's maybe new and wasn't maybe a fragrance guru before and wants to be. Where would you start?
A couple of tips that I would suggest is do not sniff the coffee beans when you're at the counter, because coffee is a scent. So if you're smelling coffee and then you're going between all the different, and then you're smelling coffee, it really does kind of change your nose. And so what you want to do is just smell your jacket, smell your arm, smell a tissue, smell something neutral so that you can kind of refresh your palate. So when you're smelling fragrances, there's one thing that I would start with, and then try to stick to 3. So to have a conversation with someone when I think it's fragrance sometimes can be tricky to buy online when you're new. So I would suggest you go into an Ulta, talk to the people that are there and say, this is the vibe that I'm going for. I'm new to fragrance. Which 3 would you suggest for me? And just stick to 3 that day. And maybe you try them on one area and wear it around the store for at least 10 minutes and see how it wears on you. Because with our chemistry, things can change in a few minutes, and you may love it when you smell it in a bottle, but you got to put it on skin, don't you think?
I do think. And I think fragrance smells very different on different people.
Yes.
The same fragrance could smell very different across the board.
100%. Like, you did say something really interesting, and it's, you were talking about how it's intimidating. So I think you have to set your mind up too when you go into, any cosmetics. Everybody's beautiful in the cosmetic department, but you just have to go in with the mindset of being open and really expressing, like, talk about your lifestyle. Is this for a special event? There's so many different ways that you can wardrobe your fragrances, but there's so many new, beautiful fragrances out there. Don't just limit yourself to one. So be open when you have, your Ulta expert asking you questions. They're not trying to get all in your business. They just, that's just going to better help them identify what fragrance is going to feel most authentic to yourself.
That's a good point. Yeah. And there's always travel size, right? That's a great entry point.
Great point.
You have to.
That's a great entry point. So somebody who's thinking, you know what, I don't know if this is going to be something I want long term. The travel size will go a long way to get you kind of immersed in the brand and figure out if that's the one for you.
And it is important, like you said, Beck, it is important to wear it.
Yeah, it is.
You don't get it right off the bat. I think for us, we're like experts in fragrance, so I'll know immediately if I like it or not. Mm-hmm. But, for someone who's new, and it, I think it's important for them to just live in it for a little bit.
And see what you get compliments on. I always think that's important. And people stop you. Like, it's working with your chemistry.
Right.
Because you're not going to really smell fragrance on yourself all day long. You get accustomed to it. So if people are like stopping you saying, oh my gosh, Armando, what are you wearing? That that you've hit it. You've got a hit on your hands.
I don't know about you, but that's the only reason I wear fragrance. No, I'm kidding.
Everybody likes a good compliment, right?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. But don't be afraid to wear fragrance at home when you're alone too. There's so many people that are working from home right now, and you can wear fragrance for yourself. It doesn't have to be for just special occasions,
It's so funny. Even when I work from home, I do put on fragrance.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. You're not dressed until you have your fragrance on, right?
Exactly.
It's that little moment of like
The
for
finishing
yourself.
touch.
Yeah, it is.
There
It
you go.
totally is.
I like it. Well, thanks guys for being here. Cool conversation. One that I think we have to have more of. I think really educating the consumer out there on really all the different offerings and why there's so many different choices out there, because we want to have different choices and we want to figure out, to your point, is there a special occasion? Is it an everyday? Are you going to the gym? Are you going to the office? Or are you just doing something that makes you feel really good? And that's the beauty of the journey that fragrance takes you on.
Journey.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. It does
Thank you
have
for
the
having
power.
us. Yeah.
Of course.
Fragrance.
All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's episode of Unveiling Beauty. Thank you so much for tuning in. To learn more about all these great fragrances and all the different fragrance offers we have at Ulta Beauty, stop into any one of your Ulta Beauty stores nationwide and have a fragrance expert help you on your journey to discover the best fragrance for you. Until next time, thank you for joining. We'll see you very soon.